All right, all right. What's up, people? We are in the building. Let me get this straightened up. But let's go into our Rudy Farias story. There's something else I need to load up. I want to make sure because I've seen a claim come up on one of the videos I uploaded. Let me get that situated and find out what the claim is about, whether or not I run that, because I want to go into this press conference from the police department. So let me see. It looks like I should be able to be cool on this one. Boom, boom, boom. Let me check on this one. Yeah, so this should be cool. I think it's one running a claim on it. So it is whatever. So I'm gonna end up playing it. It's a press conference. I don't know why press conference, which is public information, should be claimed, whatever it is. So we'll just run with it and see what they do. If I run, since it's on a live, I can just delete it out if it's that much. But like I say, I don't be tripping off of copyright claims. I don't give a shit like that. I don't monetize these videos anyway. But let's go into it. You turn this out. And we'll go into the story about who Rudy Farias is for those who are just now jumping in on this story coming out of Texas involving a teen who was missing back in 2015, 8 years ago. But the crazy thing in coming out of this, it's so many twists and craziness coming out of it. So now it pits the Houston Police Department against Houston activist, Texas activist Quinell X. It pits him against the family, the Houston Police Department and the family, against what they're saying and about how they believe there's some type of cover up going on in this situation and why this kid was never discovered. So let's go into this one. And the whole time it comes out that this kid had been at home the whole time. And along with that, other shit is starting to be exposed. And it's making Houston Police Department look bad. And when you look at the history of certain widespread, or what would you call these huge cases where you see like these national attention cases that involve crimes, like some of the most despicable crimes in the history of this country, whether you're looking at the Dahmer, you're looking at the original Candyman, not the Candyman from the movie, but the Candyman in which John Wayne Gacy begins to copy the killing style of the original Candy styles from out of Houston. Is that either Houston or Dallas, somewhere in Texas? The original Candyman. Look up that story. He originally did the style of killing like you see with Gacy, and about how police was alerted to that shit. And this guy, police ignore the signs that are there, things that people are reporting. Police ignore that. John Wayne Gacy, police report that. Gacy going to prison for doing some old sinister, sick shit and getting out and continue on with some of the craziest killings. You look at the Los Angeles Grim Sleeper. You look at many of these cases, Jeffrey Dahmer, to where people can report shit to law enforcement and law enforcement will overlook this shit with this shabby ass fucking, just lacking of care type investigations they pull on to allow fucking sick people to continue on with their damn chaos and destroying lives of people. So let's go into this one because this shit is crazy right here. So Rudy Farias, Houston man, reported missing in 2015, was living with the mother the whole time. So Rudy Farias, the Texas man, and they call him because he's 25 now. But even when he was reportedly 17 or 18 at the time, and what makes me believe that the police didn't give a damn with a misreporting report on this dude is that they're probably like, man, this fucking kid is a grown man, to hell with him. So the teen who was found alive more than 8 years after he was reported missing as a Houston teenager was living with his mother the whole time. And the Houston police said in a press conference Thursday, which was today, Houston Police Department said Farias was reported missing by his mother in 2015, but returned the next day, in which she never reported that. And many people look at it as like, it's going to confuse it because it's going to be like, what's the big fucking deal? Okay, he came back, she didn't report it. But there's more going into this shit. Things of her creating GoFundMe type accounts, the sisters exposing something related to a life insurance involving the suicide of a ex-husband who was a former Houston police officer who got caught in some corruption shit and ended up killing himself inside of a police car, about her being manipulative when she had guardianship, conservatorship over their mother who was going through dementia, and the stuff she was doing, with the mother and keeping them out of it. It's a lot of twisted shit. During the 8 years, police received tips and leads that indicated Farias was not missing. Lieutenant Christopher Zamora said in the news conference, many of these facts included contact and statements with relatives, friends, and medical personnel. And the crazy thing, when the mother lived there, who was going through dementia, when the sisters visit, they'll be at the house, and all the while report this kid was missing. The mother will be trying to tip these sisters off, like the nephew is here. She talks to him every day. He comes in there in the room and visit her. And then the sisters will get kind of leery because they're always kind of skeptical about their sister, like not believing his sister's always been manipulative. And when they try to venture off around the house, the sister trip on them, like, what are you doing looking in this room, blah, blah. Whole time the sister got the dude, he ain't a little dude, grown cat, hiding in rooms because of what she manipulated him with these beliefs. But I'm going to get into, I'm just read a little bit of the history on this story. From 2015 to 2023, police said Farias spoke with police officers, but used fake names and dates, which misled officers. No, the officers just didn't do their fucking jobs. Like, you can get pulled over, officers, so you can make up any old fucking name and they'll run with it. Unless it's just simple traffic stop, maybe they can give a shit. Or usually a cop will ask a motherfucker for ID and shit. Both Janie, which is Rudy's mother, and Rudy himself gave fictitious names while interacting with various patrol officers. Janie continued to deceive police by remaining adamant that Rudy was still missing. So the mother carried on that her son was still missing. So I guess maybe this one they'll follow up on the investigation and this and that. So this lady continue on with it. Police says Farias and his mother were interviewed Wednesday. The investigation is ongoing, police said. Farias is still with his mother by choice, Zamora said. All right, so let's go into it. Wait, let me see. There's something else says. Who was Rudy Santana's mother? So Janie Santana says, Rudy's mother says, allege that her nephew was the person friends and family were seeing at the house. So when they were reporting that they seen Rudy at the house, the mother would come up with a story and tell authorities, like, no, this is my nephew. And I guess the authorities left it as, okay, she says her nephew, we're going to agree it's her nephew. The Texas Center of Missing shared this statement on behalf of the family when Farias was found. We want to thank the media and the public for all their support. My son, Rudy Farias, the fourth, was found on Thursday, June 29th. Says after being missing for 8 years. Currently, we do not have any additional information on Rudy's case. What we do know is at the time of his recovery, a Good Samaritan located him unresponsive and immediately called police and 911. My son Rudy is receiving the care he needs to overcome his trauma. That at this time, he is nonverbal. And this is where this woman's lying, saying this kid is nonverbal and not able to communicate with us, as we are asking for privacy during this difficult time, but will share more details as Rudy continues to heal, is what the mother says. And the mother speaks about him being nonverbal, which ends up being false as hell, ends up being a total lie. All right, so they asked the question, will she face charges? So no charges being brought up on it. There was another thing I want to bring up. I should have wrote this down, but it was during while I was speaking. It was something else that came out of what they were saying. Oh, this is what it was. There was pictures that the mother was showing on the internet with the kid like in a hospital or something, as if he was being treated and this and that. The sisters came out and exposed, like, man, that shit is old. Like, the stuff that the mother's trying to show was like old stuff, like when he was 12 or something. So there's like, man, she's lying about this. She's covering up all kind of shit, like shit that just don't make sense to be sitting there lying about. So I'm going to download the police press conference. Before that police press conference, I want to go to Quinnell X's interview, because this is what kind of opened this shit up, because people were already following it. The news didn't pick up like this. It was already reported about when the kid was found after 8 years and shit. But what really blew it up is that when Cornell X, who y'all know the activist Cornell X, because he stay up there putting them, especially white folks, out there on Houston TV and check, or even going to town where he checked that one racist sheriff in one of the more rural towns in Texas and was telling them that, yeah, your daughter like her coffee with no sugar, no cream and shit, being that this old racist bigot had a daughter that really loved black dudes and he needed to get prepared for his black grandchildren and shit. But Cornell X was checking this white sheriff who thought he was old tough guy, trying to make some old threats about people ain't coming in this town. Cornell X popped up on this whole ass. But let me go into Cornell X's press conference following the first contact that anybody had with this young kid and what this kid revealed. And this will also expose why the Houston police came out at a press conference, because it exposed them badly in this one.
Received an emergency phone call to get over here for this meeting with the detectives, Rudy's mother and Rudy. So I dropped everything I was doing and made it as fast as I possibly could. Spent about an hour and 20 minutes one-on-one with Rudy.
All right, so this is the way he got involved, because the mother brought him in when she was saying that she thought the police was trying to intimidate her. She didn't feel comfortable. She thought the police, so she brought him in thinking he would be on her side and the police would back up. But her story began to change too. And I don't think he says it in this one, but it's in another interview I saw him on.
And with one of the detectives, I heard horrific things from that young man. And I did not want him to see me start shedding tears, but I couldn't hold back the tears because of the things he was saying to us, detective and myself. No child be treated like that by y'all. This young man said that when he initially ran away later, and she told him that he had to hide, that he was going to get in trouble, and they were going to arrest him for running away, and that he had to. So she hid him out for a while, then brought him back to the house and hid him in the home. And initially, whenever the investigators would come, she would hide him in the house.
Right. So you're hearing all this is what Cornell is saying. Now, when the police get on their conference, they kind of want to deny this or kind of sway around it, because what you hear the chief talk about is the integrity of their investigation and this and that. But it doesn't seem like they're investigating too much until Cornell X put this out, and now the public has surrounded this shit. Is they want answers because shit ain't adding up with the mother, and the mother is kind of acting real trippy. Now, when them sisters get on, following that police conference, because the sisters were even tripping on the police, because the police allowed this shit to go on for these 8 years.
And he kept saying, I don't want her to go to prison. I don't want her to get in trouble. I don't want her to go to jail. And so we asked him, why did you run away? And he said he just got tired of her not respecting his boundaries. He wanted his own life. And his exact word was, I was tired of living like a slave. And he would do the required work she was supposed to do. And a lot of the responsibility. And that was her crossing his personal space boundaries. He said that she would make him sleep in the bed with her. And he said that she made him play daddy. He said that he didn't like getting in the bed with her. That he would try to sneak out of the bed and sometimes hide under the bed, but she told him he had to be her husband. That's a damn shame. A little boy
That's a sick. This is a sick ass mom doing this shit to her kid.
Said she was the one providing drugs to him for years. Hallucination drugs, mushrooms, etc. And that the reason why he was left, he was just tired of her crossing his boundaries. When he would shower, she would come and pull the shower curtain back and stare at him, and then she would make him bathe her with the soap. And he ran away this time because he was tired.
Well, now you've been doing this for many years. How emotional has today been with this case?
It's a goddamn shame. I ain't never in my life heard of a mother doing to a child what this woman did. The detective heard this. The detective also heard Rudy say he did not like it, and that he would sometimes get out of her bed and sleep on the floor because he did not like what she was forcing him to do.
All right, so it's all being put out like the mother was having this kid to perform sex on her, kissing her in the mouth and washing her while she washed on him and shit. Like I said, this mother is kind of like pushing what you hear when you hear about Oedipus complexes, where young boys kind of start viewing their mothers in a sexual light. And it's almost like this mother trying to fucking create that scenario of her kid viewing her as a sexual, you know, someone he's sexually attracted to, like his mother belongs to her. Like, yeah, her mother, sorry, like making it to where he views the mother as his possession sexually. And that's kind of the Oedipus situation she's trying to create. She's a sick ass woman. So I'm gonna continue to go on. Kenny Porter's right, and people around her have died in mysterious ways, they say too. Kenny Porter's right hand in the bill says salute to the chat. Jaquan says salute to me as well. Salute Jaquan. Kenny Porter's right hand says Houston, the original Candyman. Yeah, that story right there is crazy, where people overlook that. And the funny thing, like with the movie Candyman, which has nothing to do with what the movie Candyman story is, nothing involving candy. They kind of get that Candyman story off of the situation of where a lady in one of the projects ends up having people coming through her mirror. That's where the saying Candyman in the mirror shit comes from. Chicago project, where they designed the project building, they give Lee these gaps where people go through these gaps and break into people's homes, can climb through their medicine cabinets. And they did that to a woman, broke in her medicine cabinet, killed her. But they use a Candyman name to flip it to some Chicago project shit. So people overlook that Houston situation with the sick ass white dude who ran that fucking candy store and was doing all type of ill shit to young boys and killing them and throwing them under the house. The same way John Gacy would go about doing that shit after being released from prison for raping the hell out of some politician's young son. And it's just crazy with the police that they overlooked this shit. Same thing with the kid that Jeffrey Dahmer was doing shit to, drilled a hole in this kid's head, pouring acid in it. This kid run outside butt naked, and the police takes this kid back to Jeffrey Dahmer and shit. Like these motherfucking cops be doing some sick ass shit with the lacking of work that they do, and they get these huge ass budgets and don't do a fucking thing to really solve and stop shit. And then you wonder why so many of these crimes have to be solved decades later once fucking DNA evidence shit starts to come to play. Dak says, and when you get cops who want to do their jobs interfere with the pieces of shit that don't. And then Dak says, man, how can a child be made to go through this, man? And it's a lot of kids going through this sick shit with their parents. You're hearing so many of these stories. If you follow the news or get the news, and that's what I get. That's why I come across a lot of shit, because I've always been a person follow events. I'll go back to finishing that. Dak says, how can he ever love a woman, man? Yeah, this kid gonna be screwed up. But you hear so much of the shit that parents are doing to young kids. Locking kids in cages, trapping them in their rooms, chaining them, not feeding them, you know, a kid would die and the parent will store the dead body of a kid in the freezer while the other kids are still there, and they try to carry, and they manipulate the other kids who are survivors, manipulate them so fucked up to where these kids will never, you know, sneak out to tell somebody of what their mother may have did to the other sibling, and they'll carry on to trying to be regular kids until one day they wake up to seeing how wrong it is and not being so afraid of, you know, being manipulated, like you'll go to jail, you say something or blah blah blah. It's crazy what kids have to endure when they're dealing with a twisted parent in this world, let alone in other countries, but just from America. Cool Breeze in the building, salute. So let me go on the press conference following that. So I'm gonna see how much of the press conference I can go through. I may have to keep pausing it because of the way they did a copyright claim. So let it play, blah, blah. It's like 18 minutes. I'm going to skim through it. So here we go. Let me see. And make sure the volume up. Oh, wait, no, that's the article. Sorry, I can get rid of the article. Let me see. That's the newspaper article. And matter of fact, here we go. I got to download that mug. And here that one go. Let me go into press conference. There we go. And then we're here.
Zamora with the Homicide Division missing.
All right, so here's the police in response to what Cornell X put out the day before, and now they're trying to run theirs. But watch when you hear the aunties and their rebuttal from what they heard from these cops.
To my left, I have Detective Sergeant Jimenez, Detective Brian Ford.
Yeah, it sounds like he don't even know who the fuck in the room with him.
Detective Atlanta Claiborne. Today, we're discussing facts related to 25-year-old Rudy Farias, who was reported missing on March 7th.
I almost want to skip through that, but I think it's necessary to play it for those who may just walk into the stream.
During the 8-year time frame where he was missing,
And I'm going to keep chopping it up.
Investigators followed up on many tips, leads, collected evidence proving that Rudy was not missing during the 8-year period. Many of these...
No, you say you can't hear it, but for some reason... because I got it in my earpiece. And this is what I'm going to say. I think I know what it's doing. I think I know exactly what it's doing. Hold on. Let me see something. Okay, it's playing in both my earpieces. Because as it was recording, it was only recording to where you can hear it in one piece, earpiece, if you only got one earpiece in. But from my recording, I can hear it in both ears. So you got it. It's low. So it's very low. So I'll stay quiet in the background. So you just got to turn your volume up on your device because it's very, very low. So that's how it picked up from whatever the Houston news station I got it from. So let me continue on.
Facts included.
It's just low.
Contacts and statements with relatives, friends, neighbors, and medical professionals. Rudy was recently identified as having previous HPD interactions, meaning that he made contact with...
So these traffic stops this cop talking about, but somehow they can give a fake name and the cops is like, okay, fuck it.
With patrol officers out on the street. However, during these contacts, fictitious names and date of births were given, misleading the officers, and Rudy would remain missing.
And it's crazy how the cops, with what he just stated about them giving fake names and all that shit, is that the cops will come up and know about the number of interactions they had with these motherfuckers. Like, so how did y'all pull that information up? Did y'all run back plates or whatever it was? But these people can give fake names. So you know that they just gave it. Y'all were left with that. But now you know that this lady lied and that this is them. Like, that shit is crazy to me. I don't get that part.
Both Janie, Rudy's mother, and Rudy himself gave fictitious names while interacting with various patrol officers. After investigators talked with him yesterday, it was discovered that Rudy returned home the following day on March 8th, 2015.
2015.
Mother Janie continued to deceive police by remaining adamant that Rudy was still missing. She alleged her nephew was the person friends and family were seeing coming and going. However, we disputed that. Currently, the DA has declined any charges at this time for making fictitious reports and failure to ID.
So no charges, mother free.
Investigators have reached out to Adult Protective Services. HPD Victim Services has reached out. We've also connected Rudy with Victim Services to ensure that he has a method to recover.
And it's crazy with that. And I don't know if it's a knock just on law enforcement, but also on the way in which laws are written to protect certain people. Like if this woman is manipulating this kid, they call adult protective services. This guy makes no claim of abuse because he doesn't feel comfortable reporting this to the police. The mother making claims she may kill herself and this and that. And the chef says, man, says this some sick shit. Says that lady should be dealt with in a horrible fashion. Absolutely. This is crazy, man. But the crazy shit is with the way in which the police says is that they make it seem like it's almost like nothing's gonna happen to this lady. At the time this shit happened with this kid, he's 17, makes him adult in Texas. Currently, he's 25. So he gets the right to choose, even if they say mentally he's not the age that he is. It's like, it's crazy with the way in which, you know, a criminal can find loops into, you know, commitments of crime and stuff. Like, it's crazy, man. That's why a lot of this stuff never gets solved, because you got legislators that fucking seem to write laws that benefit the sickest of the sick.
Now, based on Rudy's interview, there were no reports of sexual abuse reported.
And this where they get twisted.
If there is a disclosure made, we will continue to investigate. Currently, the investigation is active, and there are new leads coming in. We'll continue to follow those leads.
And what he said that there was no reports of the sexual assault, Cornell X stated that these detectives was in there. Where you hearing that last part of that video when I pull up with Cornell X. Let me pull that one back up. Well, Cornell says the detectives was in the room with him when the kid told him what the mother was doing. And here they are at the press conference denying that shit. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me get back to it. So here they are with the parents denying that
What this
shit.
woman did.
Let me speed that up. All right,
The detective heard this. The detective also heard Rudy say he did not like him, and that he would sometimes get out of her bed and sleep on the floor because he did not like what she was forcing him to do. To me, that's sexual abuse.
All right, so let me go back over to the cop.
We do take all allegations seriously, and any new information or facts that we receive will be investigated.
The cop voice seems shaky, so here's the chief. The cop voice sound real shaky. So she repeating what Cornell X said in his interview.
Basically, what we're saying is our investigation is our investigation, and we treat it the same. We're going to, our investigators were in the room, and basically, you know, what they heard and what they interviewed, that's what we attest to in our offense reports and our investigations. And I'm not here, neither are they here to question anybody's integrity.
So you mean
our integrity with the Houston Police Department stands.
Question Cornell X's integrity.
We're going to report and put in offense reports what a victim or potential victim tells us, okay?
But just to be clear, in that room, the detective did not hear anything about sexual abuse allegations.
Go ahead.
Can you just clear that up?
Yeah, Sergeant Stephen.
So now another cop.
Yes,
he was in the room, I guess.
No, there was no. You know, I'm trained to listen for probable cause. I'm trained to listen for.
So he's trained to listen. Fool, you ain't got to train to listen. You can just know when you hear some shit. Talking about you trained. This fool trained to listen. Now, if he was the one sitting in that room and that kid say that, so I wonder, did they record that? How do you have an investigation going on and you're going to get a statement from a guy and you're not recording it? So if they want to refute anything coming from Cornell X, they could be like, here's our recording of what they stated. But then again, that can be confidential if they're asking some questions related to sexual abuse. Like he said, like the chief of state, that it's supposed to be confidential and that's something they don't make public. Maybe they can be doing that. But then again, well, no, I haven't seen videos dealing with, have they shown videos dealing with somebody being sexually assaulted, speaking about it, release it to the public? That's another thing. But like I say, the Houston police dropped the ball on a lot of this shit for this kid to go missing for 5 years, and he's been right there the whole time. They don't go get a warrant to go search through this house. They just listen to the mother when it's reports that the kid over there, like Houston police is embarrassed and they fucked up. But watch, like when I get through this one, when you hear what the aunts got to say, and they're going to expose a lot about this chick too. and their
Statements
family
that can help
history.
me get charges or move forward with the case. And no, there was no statements made during this investigation so far, no.
Thank you. Next question. Go ahead, Mario.
Can that be answered in
Wait a
Spanish,
minute.
please?
Go ahead. Good. We get it. Yeah.
There's a key word there.
Go
You
ahead.
said there was no reports of sexual abuse. Is that correct, sir? What you said?
That is correct, coming from Rudy Farias.
Was there any conversations about a sexual relationship between
So they
the mother
asked somebody, was there any conversation
So
of
we don't
sexual?
release any
Now-
type of information related to sexual assaults.
Now you
That's-
hear that one. They won't release any kind of information related to sexual assault. So I don't know.
That's just state law.
State
can't
law.
comment on
So
that.
maybe they're pissed off with Cornell X even exposing that to the public, being with the way they handle these investigations, they won't speak on it. And I think it's fucked up for a law to be written like that where you ain't transparent. I think that shit should be very transparent when you're dealing with fucking pedophilic sick motherfuckers. It's no different than you release information on murder shit after the investigation is done or information come out. Like, fuck that. Expose these motherfuckers, man. If that kid said that, that shit need to be stated. But once again, they got investigation. I can't knock that fully.
Go ahead.
Is Rudy a victim then in all of this, or did he and his mother work together? I mean, he wasn't missing now.
The investigation is still going on, Courtney, and
So-
I'm not going to say if he's a victim or not. I'm thinking
I think they asked was something about there was also reports that he was working with the mother. Let me hear that question again.
That's just state law. I
Okay.
can't comment on that.
I'm gonna back that one
ahead.
up. What is she?
Is Rudy a victim then in all of this, or did he and his mother work together? I mean, he wasn't missing now.
the investigation
saying
is
that he
still
worked-
going on,
I
Courtney,
heard.
and
She asked.
I'm not going to say if he's a victim or not. I'm
That's
thinking,
what it was.
you know, and saying we're going to treat this
She asked, was Rudy a victim or was he part of this shit?
just as we do with any potential victim or victim, and we're going to give respect to everybody that's involved. We're going to conduct our investigation, and we're kind of right at the beginning of it. This investigation is going to go on after this press conference.
What's next? Could we see
Sorry.
charges?
If charges are you know, appropriate, they'll see. But let us conduct the investigation. And what's next, Courtney?
This shit
Just as any
crazy.
other investigation, we're going to follow our evidence. We're going to do more interviews, and we're going to follow the evidence. And I
This
think
shit
that's
is
important.
crazy.
Go ahead.
Chief, can you say, were there any signs of mental illness, that he might be mentally ill, that his mother might be mentally ill?
We're not going to say that right now. Anyway, we're going to conduct the investigation. It's really too early to determine that. They're going to
Man,
be
this
some,
kid been home since last
more
Thursday. I
parts
think
to the
they said they
investigations,
just now
and-
getting on the
and,
investigation.
You know, some of that may come into play, but right now, you know.
Just because there were some other allegations that he had been held prisoner, that he had been taken to Mexico, is there any indication that that was true, or was that like a delusion?
Lieutenant. Yeah.
Because that would have been kidnapping, right, or holding somebody against their will?
We don't have any information to say there was any kind of kidnapping or anything like that right now.
Okay.
Have any search warrants been served at the house where she used to be?
I think it's no search warrants. Right?
No, at the time he was reported missing 8 years ago, being missing is not a crime. So the detectives had no.
So being missing is not a
probable
crime.
Cause to issue a search warrant for the residence.
So,
which
hey, you know
was-
what's fucked up with that statement? Being missing is not a crime, but shit, a missing person can be a dead motherfucker. That just shows like when people report people missing, it'd be like police departments don't be giving a fuck. They don't go really searching for people. They wait till they find you dead and shit. Like that was a dumbass comment. Being missing isn't a crime. Maybe it meant to charge this woman then. I get it. I get what he's saying. So not to charge, being that this kid was missing and they and this and that and they falsifying it is not a crime. I guess that's what he mean. I don't. Let me back that one up again because that shit sounded dumb as fuck to me. Let me put that shit back up. That shit
Sir,
sounded
several
real
times.
stupid to me.
Cause to issue a search warrant for the residence, which was searched several times.
We're going to work our way down, and we'll get back to you.
They talking about they
Go ahead.
searched that
Yes.
shit. Them cops ain't searched shit.
Timeline for installation for the new one?
There's no permanent timeline. As you can imagine, there's a cost to it, and there are some complications. And give you one just quick thing, the challenge.
So he's about to
200 of
speak
our
on.
vehicles are
He's about to speak on the challenges of when they get shit like this, why they can't deal with it, and he wants to go into the Houston PD's budget. That $1 billion budget ain't a lot because 90% of this shit goes to operation costs, being wages and shit and pensions.
model 2014 are older. That's a challenge. I'm not, when,
You talking
when
about
we're
they
up
cars too
against
old?
a financial budget like we are, you got to pick and choose, and you got to prioritize some things. So, but as quickly as funding comes in, we're going to work to get in all of our patrol vehicles and those vehicles that come into contact with the public with dash cams. But I want people to realize one thing: 100% of our officers that's out there on the streets have body-worn cameras on. 100%. And
That costs
we
a
know
lot.
for a fact that if you would choose dash cams, I'd love to have both systems. Okay, 100%.
Ouch, my
But
fucking
once
knee.
you get out that car,
Damn it.
where most things happen in interaction, hand to hand,
That shit pop like a
I
mother.
want that body worn camera. But as we get funding in, and as I said, the mayor is stepping up, like he always does. But he can only do so much. This funding issue didn't start, and I'm gonna say this: I stay away from politics, okay? But the citizens in
why?
Houston, at some point in time, we're gonna have to really face how we're gonna properly fund public safety and public servants, okay? Because you need better fire trucks, you need better equipment. We can't keep kicking that can down the street. We're gonna have to talk about things of
Man, I mean, I understand they need that, but they need to stop hiring. They need to start working and firing and rehiring a bunch of these cops. But there needs to be a deeper investigation along with what's going on with this shit as to why this shit was allowed to go on so long. But he's using this budget thing to be like, there wasn't enough resources, financial resources to put and dedicate officers strictly towards this shit where they got other shit going on around the city. But damn, like some of these departments aren't effective. Like, come on, you can work with. I know Houston's a major big ass city, but I think some of these departments need to get stricter on the way they operate and being more efficient and stop cops from being pieces of shit. Because you go into where cops just don't do shit right. You can go into fucking police department headquarters for basic shit. You go in there for fingerprinting, and these pieces of shit, disrespectful cops and these workers in there, they just be disrespectful like a motherfucker to people. Just off of the most basic shit, you try going there and get service for. You need fingerprinting done. You need some other shit, and these motherfuckers talk to people in some of the foulest of fucking ways. And then Mike Laurie says, yeah, says that's us. Says, yeah, that's a political answer. Yeah, everything. I don't understand why people try to steer away from politics. I think Americans need to be more political rather than being silent on politics. Is create this deep divide in political party division and shit because people don't want to talk politics. Like, you got to bring shit to a head through conversation to resolve shit. People are always quick to come up. We don't talk politics, and like, get the fuck out of here.
revenue cap. But we'll leave it to the politicians. Next question. Go ahead.
So I heard you mention that there was no need for a search warrant when he was reporting this.
Yeah, these detectives right there fucked up. The ones in the suits.
Properly fund public safety and public servants, okay? Because you need better fire trucks, you need better equipment.
Okay,
you can't keep kicking that can down the street. We're gonna have to
this is
talk
a
about
repeat.
things.
Let me get past this.
Interviewed.
Yesterday and the day that he was discovered, was anything searched? Was anybody questioned? Anybody go by the house?
Rudy and his mother were interviewed yesterday. As far as anyone going to the house,
He seemed nervous, like he done
it's
fucked
still
up on
active
something.
investigation. We can't release details pertaining to that.
It sounds like either they holding back on something or they realizing they done messed up.
Yes, sir, that's
Yes.
correct. He's
25 now. Yeah. Go ahead, Mario. I'll get y'all. Hold up. Go ahead.
That's the other cold part, because this kid is a grown dude now.
Filed by his mother at the very beginning.
That was in March 7th of 2015.
So there was a missing persons report that was filed,
Correct.
and
I'm gonna hurry up and try to get through this part just to go into what the ants are gonna say. What the ants reveal is some shit, which got people scratching their head on this whole situation. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yes, she could be reported or detained. That offense is a Class C misdemeanor, which is similar to
So,
traffic
talking about the mother
citation.
lying about their names and
Was
stuff.
found on Thursday. Your investigators spoke to him nearly a week later. Do you think it was a mistake not to speak to him sooner? You said yourself the DA has not accepted charges. That's a week where evidence could be destroyed.
Ooh, great question. Great question. So they said that this kid was found a week ago. Y'all wait a week after to start questioning this dude. Do you think shit could have been covered up? And Mike Lowry says how the cops versus military different in these situations. Says how do they muzzle military spokespersons? I don't elaborate on more on that, because I don't think the city cops and military cops kind of deal with the same situations. I'm lost on what you mean on that one. If you can break that down. Says how you meant how do cops meaning city cops versus military differ in these situations? Like a missing person, shit, you missing in it. If you missing in the military, your ass AWOL. You may be dealt with on that UCMJ shit where they fuck around and court martial your ass and kick you out under dishonorable circumstances. You may get Article 15. Sometimes I didn't see people go AWOL and not have to go through the court martial shit. They may get not dishonorably discharged, but get Article 15 where they get reduced in rank. But I don't think it turned into this. Like, there's people who go AWOL and could go AWOL for a number of years and shit until maybe they're turned in or arrested, and maybe they'll pop up under being AWOL. Maybe they won't, but I don't think they handle that. You go missing in the military, you just AWOL. And then once they bring you back in, you're not under arrest or anything. You'll go through a process of them probably putting you out under dishonorable discharges or even court martial, depending on what the command want to do and shit. I don't know if that answers it for you, but I don't think the seriousness of how civilian things is with military stuff like that. Unless you kill someone, most in the military, you're just gonna get your ass put out. And sometimes being put out the military can affect you when it comes to job searches and stuff too. Sometimes dishonorable discharges can affect you career-wise, most definitely. They hold you back, especially when jobs are asked questions. If you ever been in the military, or if you've been kicked out and stuff. And they should kind of remove that off of any kind of job applications, to just trying to find ways of eliminating qualified applicants based on some bullshit that may have happened in the military. Because the military deals with too much targeting. You deal with too many pieces of shit people who have moved up in the rank, who target people, and they try to flex power to ruin people. And it's, I've seen it happen a lot when people are about to get out. They tried that shit with me, but none of the shit them punks tried with me was effective at all. Like I say, that's why I pride myself on this shit. Them motherfuckers constantly try that shit. That's why I ain't no shit about me buck dancing and changing voice and this and that. And no, like, fucking history of my military. That's why I don't relate to a lot of these cats who be talking about when people be selling out or that you work for a white company. Like, that shit is dumb. Like, some people, you gotta go based on people experiences. My experience has always been to stand on being a black dude. And being a black dude don't be meaning being rah, 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 and all that shit. When I need to rah, then I'm a roar, and that shit gonna be heard effectively. There's a method to the way you handle shit. And then I know when to turn that shit off. Like I say, the problem with a lot of revolutionary people is they don't know when to turn that shit the fuck off. And they burn out. Me, I know when to turn that shit off, go back to being, happy, go lucky ass person, and then when to flip that shit back into soldier mode. Mike Lowry says when a military related calamity happens, are you trained? Says to never speak publicly until declassified. Says how does that work? They'll probably brief you on not speaking publicly. Let his spokesperson speak on, like this, like how you seen in that situation on Fort Hood with the girl that was killed. There are probably people in the company, that military PR people go to the company and tell people don't speak to the media, blah blah blah. Because if they catch you speaking to someone then you can face, you know, whatever punishment they got for it. More than likely it's gonna be an Article 15. But all the news is gonna do is have you speak anonymously, don't show you and don't take your name, and have you report on what's happening and expose that shit. So that's kind of with that for people who speak on shit that happened in their units, because people speak on it all the time. I know if I was in, they wasn't gonna stop none of that shit. I remember the first time I ever dealt with that in my unit was the time when we was flying. This is the first time I ever seen Air Force One. We was leaving Fort Hood to go do that training we do in the Mojave Desert and shit in NTC. And Bush was there, because this is when Bush was always under a lot of scrutiny because he's always on vacation and shit. And when we leaving, his plane is out there, and the first thing they tell us not to report on seeing the president's plane there at the Fort Hood airport and shit. It's like, man, my people don't give two fucks for me to call, hey, George Bush and Tech. We don't give a fuck about Bush. Fuck him. But that was one of the things they'll tell us not to speak on that. But I don't think we had too many issues in my unit, except we had major drug dealing and all type of drug shit in my unit and shit. But none of them coming to say. But you knew, like, if it got major, not to speak to the news about it. Like, they can come talk to the PR representative of the division. I don't think we have one for my unit, but for the CAV division and shit. All right, so there we go. They have media people they supposed to speak with.
It's procedure for the investigation to go through a channel, and when it reaches us, we review it. There was no urgency to investigate a recovered or found person. And I say that because patrol officers made contact with him. They ensured that he was safe. They contacted HFD to make sure that he didn't need medical treatment, and he was cleared on scene by HFD.
Okay, so he's talking about back when they found the kid. I'm like lost on, wait, what the hell are you talking about? So let me
to the house.
Back that up.
It's still active investigation.
Let me catch this back up. This is always the thing with this one, even though I like using this video thing right here, it's always easy to skip this shit. Hold on, let me jump forward back to where he was at on his points.
To the house. It's still active investigation. We can't release details pertaining to that.
Also, quick clarity, was he 17 at the time that he was missing?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So he's 25.
He's
25 now. Yeah. Go ahead, Mario. I'll get you. Hold up. Go ahead.
Was there a missing persons report filed by his mother at the very beginning?
That was in March 7th of 2015.
So there was a missing persons report that was filed.
Correct.
And so this is what I'm asking on this end.
See, the media on this police department's ass, because they think these cops are lying about some shit.
And never once informing HPD that he came home.
Yes, she could be reported or detained. That offense is a Class C misdemeanor, which is something.
Okay, I came across this part. Let me skip this up some.
Go ahead. Was found on Thursday. Your investigators spoke.
Okay,
So
yeah, we passed that.
It's procedure
There we go. About up
for
here.
the investigation to go through a channel, and when it reaches us, we review it. There was no urgency to investigate a recovered or found person. And I say that because patrol officers made contact with him. They ensured that he was safe. They contacted HFD to make sure that he didn't need medical treatment, and he was cleared on scene by HFD. They refused.
So the
he
fire
refused
department.
transportation to the hospital. His mother took him to the hospital later on that evening.
What the lieutenant said, I think, is important.
So they didn't really check up on shit. They found the kid and said, okay, fuck it, he good. They didn't follow up with too much. But now the stories start to pick up from when other activists and Cornell X get on this shit. So now here come the chief stepping in. Let's see what he got.
Can't force a potential victim of a missing person, okay?
And he's speaking truth, though. The chief speaking truth about what they can't force. And this is what makes it to where this is what gives power to manipulators and violators of people to get away with shit. Is when you can't force shit, and she doing this to her child she didn't raise up. There's some twisted ass mothers that are out here. And she's probably the mother that kept his son away from his fucking father and then remarry a bunch of other cats, and these cats end up dead and shit.
Nothing else to come in and give a statement. So it takes time to try to work with people to get that statement.
And Chief, I know you believe in transparency, and I just, for the public, we're going to the activist who makes these shocking allegations, and as the reporter who was there, I did see him myself go in and out of the room, so it was clear that he had some sort of communication.
Transparency doesn't come in front and maintaining the integrity of the investigation, and that's where my transparency stops. But and I'm gonna. This is the last question I'm gonna ask about the activists or anybody else. You know, we're gonna follow our investigation, and we
He
treat
talking
it the
about
same.
Cornell X.
Everybody
The
has a role in society, and
call
we
him the
respect
activist.
everybody, including our activists. But the
Yeah.
integrity of the investigation.
See, Cornell X is a thorn in their ass, so that's why he just called him the activist. Matter of fact, Cornell X is gonna do a press conference tomorrow, and I can't wait to listen to that shit along with the family there, because they're gonna expose more about the Houston Police Department in this case.
Investigation is number one, and we're gonna maintain that. Okay.
Going inside that room, did that jeopardize the investigation by allowing?
I don't think so. Go ahead. Anybody?
Do you know where's Rudy at this moment? Rudy at this moment and his mom?
Yes, we do. Rudy is safe. He is with his mother by choice.
He is with his mother by choice.
He's a
They say.
25-year-old man.
Right.
25.
We're gonna
That's
get
the
a
other
few more.
thing.
Mario right here, and then we're gonna work our way down. Probably 4 more. And we're gonna wrap.
Let me pause right there. Kenny Porter's right hand says, "Where was his dad?" Says during all this. I don't think his dad is living anymore. I think because I hear that they said the sister's gonna say that this chick been married multiple times. So I'm pretty sure she kept the dad up out of the picture. But then there was like a stepdad or some shit. And I think it's the one. No. Matter of fact, I think this might have been his dad who committed suicide. And before that, he had a brother who died in a motorcycle accident. Then there was another husband that the mother was married to. No, the brother of somebody who died in an accident as well. So a lot of crazy shit's been going on with this family. Then it come to find out when the sisters were saying that this father was raping the one aunt who's going to speak. The aunt is going to speak on how fucked up the family is, that her dad, when the aunt was a young girl and their mother married the Rudy's mom's dad, that Rudy's mom's dad was raping the older sister, which is the aunt. Like, this shit is crazy what these aunts going to speak on after this.
I said
Now,
potential.
got about
victim,
5
and
more
I wanna
minutes
be
on this shit.
respectful on that. Yeah.
And I'm going to play the aunts.
When he was a young teenager.
17.
17 years old. There's been cases in the past where people have been brainwashed, where people have been told you cannot, and they're being held against their will. For everyone that's going to be watching this worldwide, because this is a worldwide story, how do you not separate him until you guys are able to get everything together, considering that he disappeared as a child?
Mario, you've been in the business for a long time, and I'm gonna let you answer that. Okay, we've explained everything, some of the challenges or whatnot. Here's a fact: he's a grown man. 20. Listen to what I'm saying. If you want me to answer,
this what makes it
no, he was an
difficult.
adult, 17. Hold up, okay.
This what makes this shit difficult with this chief speaking on. And did this mother know to pull this shit off at this time? That's the cold part. If the mother deliberately pulled this shit off, because the aunts exposed some shit, it's related to and this is the one thing the aunts speak on. The aunts speak on that the dad, or might have been a stepdad, had an insurance policy that the beneficiary was the son Rudy, but the policy had something that if the kid is missing or some shit, I don't know how true it is, but this is what the aunt said, that if this kid is going missing for a number of years, the policy switches over to the mother type shit. And right around that time is where this kid supposedly goes missing and shit.
Not confrontational.
Salute,
I
Silvestri,
respect
salute.
what everybody does, okay? But 17 years old, that's an adult in the state of Texas, okay? A lot of things that we shared up here. So we're going to work our way through it. It takes a little while.
They say 17 is
There's a
adult,
lot of-
so don't be saying that when these teachers up there giving punani up to these young dudes.
Development still, even last night, okay? We know that. Everything's coming up. We're going to investigate it. The integrity is going to stay in place. We're going to treat him the same as any other person that comes through that we're conducting investigation on. I'm done with that part. Go ahead, Courtney.
Detective, this might be a better question for the
Go ahead.
detective. I don't know.
Okay? Anybody?
What's the reason then? What can you tell us about why Rudy and his mother then allegedly lied for 8 years and said he was missing when he clearly wasn't?
I can answer that though. I mean, to protect, we can't predict motivation or whatnot. We could just try to, yeah, right, yeah. But you know, during the interview and the particulars of it, it's active investigation. We respect that, but can't. Yeah. Next question. Yeah.
I wish they put more mics towards the media so you can hear their questions. But the responses kind of leads you to what the question may have been.
Just doing 8 years total investigation. Okay, so it went dormant for a little bit, but the case was still open. Okay, and I want to say this: until we find people, until we clear it, that's when it should be cleared. But if your question is, we expended some resources. Absolutely, yes. No, you're prioritizing. Okay, we're in a budget that there are challenges. Okay, and what I presented, and we'll side note this, okay, because it takes a little while to explain it. When you have challenges, people look at a $1 billion budget, okay, and everybody just, oh my God, HPD has a lot of money.
This shit crazy.
92% of that goes to salary and benefits, so it's not a whole lot of money. We have to pay our people, and we have to be competitive. The mayor just gave $7.2 million so we can get more cadets in. So there are a lot of challenges. What I'm saying is this didn't happen just in the mayor's administration. For years, you need so much.
I'm gonna skip some of this.
An agent fleet and a lot of other.
All right, so
last night at the house, patrol.
All right, so this is about 1 minute, and we go to the aunts.
There was a burglary report last night at the house. Patrol responded, and we were alerted because it was a house of note, and we.
Okay. So this is it of that, but what they were responding to, the media lady asked, what was the police at the house for? They thought the police was there, possibly to arrest the mother or whatnot, but a burglary was reported at the house, so police came out for that. So let's go into what the aunts say. So after this press conference right here, the aunts speak, and they came with some shit. Let me go into their shit.
Friends.
So these are aunts.
Second word from what we know of. She took Rudy yesterday from the hotel. So like the chief of police said that Rudy is with his mother. He needs to get the facts straight. Rudy is not with his mother. He is with this other friend who has known and had Rudy in her possession.
¿Dónde está Rudy en estos momentos? ¿Qué saben de él?
Rudy ahorita está con una amiga de Jenny, la mamá, y estamos esperando que él viene con la familia.
You know, one of the things the chief just said in that press conference was that if you're watching yesterday, you know, Cornell X talked about that there were sexual assault allegations, that his mother had sexually assaulted him, had drugged him, and the chief said there is no indication that happened.
Let me interrupt on that. I'm going, hold on.
Look, the aunts like, man, they ain't fucking, because the aunts is pissed off with their sister. These are aunts of the mother. And this one right here would say, let me interrupt. This the one who in this interview is going to speak on what Jane, the mother of Rudy, name is Janie or something, what Janie's father was doing to her as a young girl. Janie's father was molesting this girl. So I'm gonna go on because that shit happens in a lot of. I ain't gonna split on just doing that old bullshit statistical racial divided shit, but a lot of girls end up having these situations of being molested by some old weird motherfucker their mothers are dealing with and shit. Especially if the mother's at work and their young girls are at the house with this motherfucker. Like, you just gotta watch it. Or some girls go through with their own biological parents. So it's just knowing what to watch for when you're dealing with a twisted motherfucker. I dealt with a lady I work with where, because a lot of people used to open up with me when I deal with certain people. And it was a lady, she just poured out her heart about when she got divorced. She ended up saying that because she raised like 4 or 5 kids by herself, and even some adopted kids, was when she found out that her husband was, molesting their daughter. And she was like, when the daughter came up to her, it wasn't a thing like this is a real woman. She wasn't a thing of how a lot of this shit be ongoing when the mothers don't want to believe in this shit. When the daughter approached her about it, when this shit happened, she walked in there, addressed him about it. She said and as hurtful as it was when she said how it verified where she smelled her husband's fingers. And it confirmed you've been fucking doing this shit to your young daughter. And I don't know if she said she just left or I don't know if she can get into where police got involved or what would happen. She just left. I don't know if this fool left out of the country or some shit. But it's the type of sick shit you hear dealing with shit. Even when I lived in Long Beach, where the police, and it's crazy because another incident where my landlord and brother and them get shot by their fucking neighbor over a fucking video. But in that same area where they lived at, I remember seeing the police skirting down to where they end up killing this dude like a few blocks down. Because like I stay on the east side where snooping them from. Matter of fact, I seen Daz the other day on his y'all follow Daz when Daz is on his Instagram where he was at popping fireworks and shit. That's on the other street on the other side of me on the east side of Long Beach where I lived at. But it was right over in the area where police going down and where they had to kill this dude who had been it was the grandmother of this child. Oh no, it might have been the mother of this child's brother that had got out of jail when the story come out that she allowed to live with them. And this brother had been in there fucking molesting this girl since he right around when he moved in with them and shit. And then they reported because I guess they may have caught him in the act of doing something to this child. And police get there, this fool refusing to come out, being threatened. They did what they're supposed to. And that nigga no longer exists in this world. You gotta watch and ask your girls and make them comfortable enough to never have to be manipulated to where they're hiding the story, to where they're afraid to tell somebody what they're going through. And some old manipulative ass predator knowing how to have mind control over them, doing that Stockholm shit, which is what is kind of the case with this Rudy kid, is he's going right back to his abuser and shit. This woman has had long enough to manipulate him. It's his mother, along with trying to create this kid into having the Oedipus complex so she can get sex from him because she can't find that shit elsewhere. And his mother is probably a sexual deviant like a motherfucker and having a kid she pushed out to do sexual acts on her. Based on what Quinnell X is saying that the son said. And I believe that shit. And the sisters are also going to expose this shit.
I hear you.
The chief is not going to know if those allegations are true or not unless Rudy had been taken to go get medically evaluated. It doesn't take, it doesn't take someone to have a degree to know that you are not going to know anything if you are not checked.
But of course, Rudy was in the hospital.
Rudy was not in the hospital. The pictures that Janie had been posting and giving to the media and everybody, are pictures from 2012 when Rudy was hospitalized.
Look how the
mother not from this past week. They are not recent pictures. So if higher authority would get their story straight and do the investigation like they're supposed to, they would know these things.
Are you saying that he was sexually assaulted by
I
his
do
mother?
believe it. Rudy
so?
would not come out and say something like that. Rudy was a very shy, timid.
When that press conference tomorrow with these sisters and Quinnell X tomorrow, the police about to spin some shit out here in Houston. Some heads about to turn out here in Houston, folks. And then you also had where one of the guys from CNN, so national news broadcaster picking up on this shit as well as Houston. This shit about to be major. They fucked up.
But are you saying it's possible that happened? You
Yes.
believe his mother was capable of that?
Yes.
¿Ustedes sí creen que pudo haber abusado sexualmente de él?
Yes. Yes. La mamá sí le hizo algo y nosotros no vamos a saber nada si no lo llevan con un doctor para que lo pueden chequear. El chief of police y todos
that
que
sister
están
back there
diciendo
want to talk. She
no
ready to talk.
saben o no pueden aclarar eso. No van a poder aclarar nada si no lo llevan con un médico.
Okay, ¿Qué piensan de hoy de la conferencia?
Let me speak. I'm going to say this in English. Chief of Police could have brought out Quinnell X's statement because my nephew Rudy Farias, who so-called, quote unquote, was missing since 8 years ago, 2015, and those fake hospital pictures were fake from 2012. Cornell's statement should have been brought up because Cornell is here to help. It's very rare that he would come out and speak up on behalf. And my nephew, Rudy, would have never talked if Janie was around, okay? Janie is a hypothetical liar, manipulative.
And the sister right here be trying to use big words, and the words don't match, but you know what she means.
She knows a lot of people in the HPD, so I'm gonna have to say, I'm not quite sure, but I'm gonna have to say she knows a lot of people in HPD, and that's why her freaking ass has been covered up.
How are you feeling about
Que
no
no
one
hay
being
cargos
charged?
en contra.
No hay
Chief of
cargos.
Police dijo que no hay cargos ahorita.
And that's the first thing. How is a mom going to do something to her child knowing that that is very wrong and that's crucial, okay? It runs in the family, in her family. And I'm very pissed off, and I don't want to bring my past up.
Here we go.
Because of Santana's stepfather, and I'm
Here we
sorry
go.
to say that, I grew a hard life, but
we
because
go.
of her father that sexually abused me. So it runs in her freaking family.
Are you
En
saying that
español,
someone should
¿cómo
be
se dice que no hay
charged
cargos?
in this
Woo.
case?
Chief of
Yes,
Police dijo
there
que no
should
hay
be
cargos
charges.
ahorita. Es lo que dijo ahorita hoy en el press conference, que no hay charges.
Exactly,
Van a hacer
Ken
una
Ford,
de
exactly.
saber que no hay cargos en
Estamos,
contra.
estamos bien enojados. ¿Cómo no van a hacer nada? Y ellos están diciendo que no van a hacer nada porque no hay pruebas. ¿Cómo chingas no van a ver si hay pruebas?
Dudes
o
from
no?
these
Si
other
lo llevan
countries
a
are
Rudy
sick,
a
man.
que
And
lo
that's the
chequen.
other thing, like when people
Yesterday-
point that shit out, like that's why I be tripping when I hear foreigners come over here, got little sick, biggest shit they learn from little racist whites to say about black folks. Man, I can run all day with just dogging people when they want to bring in little racial derogatory shit. I can, like I say, I don't think this person on this planet can match me for being on racial offensive shit. But when these foreigners love to talk this shit about black households and this and that, the shit that goes on with these households with foreigners and the touching of young girls, the shit is sick. And that's why you look across these other countries before these people come over here. They be having legal consent ages. I think Japan just recently upped their shit where the consent age out there is like 12 or some shit. Like, it shit is sick. And then you look at some of these, even in some states in this whack ass country, especially little hillbilly, rinky dink populated ass states, to where they be like 15 and shit to consent and shit. It's some weird motherfuckers that come to this country from other places. Like, but I mean, I feel sad for what these ladies endured.
We were at the hotel. They had her, from what I believe, I didn't get there on time because I was working, doing other stuff. They had her in handcuffs. Why in the freaking world did they let her go while she was in handcuffs? Because they made one phone call to a district attorney, whoever he was, and said, what, let her go. There's nothing to follow any evidence.
Oh yeah, and they need to get on.
Charged.
They need to get on this district attorney ass out there too.
Oh,
She needs
yes,
to be charged,
yes.
not only with what she's done to Rudy, but falsifying that he had been kidnapped, taken to Mexico, that he had been spotted in other states. She had people all over the United States looking for him because
Investigators
of her
Doing
false
this
claims.
damn
Investigators said that-
GoFundMe account, fraudulently taking money when the son was there. And I don't mean to bring this up, God rest our mom in peace, but when my mom was under our home health where I work at, I would go visit her because she would never answer her freaking phone. I would go knock at her door. It would take Janie 20 minutes exactly, because I would time it, to answer the freaking door.
And see what the sisters see. These sisters exposing some shit. And once again, just to keep people up to speed, Janie is the mother. So when their mother is at the home of this same lady and speaking about how long it will take her to answer the door when they come to visit their mother, because what is she doing? She's hiding this kid who we're talking about. So let me back that shit up, because she about to go into some more shit. They keep revealing shit. And I can't wait till this press conference tomorrow.
My mom was under our home health where I work at. I would go visit her because she would never answer her freaking phone. I would go knock at her door. It would take Janie 20 minutes exactly, because I would time it to answer the freaking door. During the time, and my heart tells me something is going on, I would finally see my mom all dirty, malnourished, really filthy, and going in her bedroom so filthy that it was a shame.
Pauline, can I just ask you, investigators said over and over again that they had made contact with both Rudy and his mother over the past 8 years. They gave fake names on multiple occasions, both of them. Your reaction to hearing that?
If that was fake names giving because Rudy was coerced by his mom to lie, and she manipulated Rudy to say what it was. Once again, I'll bring the subject up. Had Quanell X not been there yesterday at the hotel and took Rudy aside to talk to him, Rudy then felt the comfortness to talk to Quanell X and bring every freaking thing that she did to our nephew. How in the hell is a mom going to do that to her own kids? Even my own mom, when she was alive, God rest her in peace, that we had to marry her because she couldn't take this shit anymore from Janie. You know, it's horrible. My mom would tell me in person, Rudy is here, Rudy is here. I would go and try to open the doors, and she would say, what are you doing there? I says, I'm just seeing if I left something behind or whatever. My mom never lied. She always said my mom had dementia. Yes, my mom finally got her Alzheimer's at 80-something years old when my sister Sylvia finally took controlship of her. You know, this is hard, but we promised her mom we would make justice, that this would come to light.
Pauline, you believe that Rudy was a victim, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Totally victimized.
Can I say something in regards to the chief of police saying that numerous occasions Rudy and his mom were stopped by the police and they gave fake names? Aren't the police asking for ID, driver's license, something when a person gets pulled over? Aren't they supposed to have something, show something, proof of your name? So were they not asking this to know that these people are giving fake names, or were fake IDs or driver license presented?
Yeah, it is crazy being this publicized, but I think this is like opening the doors to a lot of the pieces missing. Like I don't care. We can go through all these, like, what do they call it? I hate calling serial killer motherfuckers prolific, but all these the grab world fucking attention to like the crimes of, I don't give a fuck. You pointed to Jeffrey. That's why I was doing like doing a lot of the crime stories I was doing on like even the serial killer motherfuckers, never to glorify that. I look at it from the aspects of where everything went wrong. The Jeffrey Dahmer shit, the holes in that shit from the police could have solved this shit early on with that sick motherfucker. There's another serial killer out of Ohio. Let me pull his name up. Because I did a video on him. Hold on. This is a crazy ass black dude who was putting bodies in the backyard. Wait, what's this motherfucker? Hold on. Wait. Let me see. All right, damn, I hope it ain't on one of them channels that I lost. Hold on, folks. I'm gonna pull it up. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, he was out of Cleveland. As a matter of fact, let me see. Yeah, Anthony Sowell. That motherfucker, where he was burying people in his backyard. It was where he was just flipping on chicks. He had a skull in the head telling these chicks what he's going to do to them. Chicks have ran out, went to get the police. Police walk in there like, damn, why does this house stink? And just walk out. And the Anthony Sowell shit is crazy as fuck. The Grim Sleeper shit. The only true Candyman is that serial killer motherfucker out of Texas, who John Wayne start to follow his method of killing people. Then you get John Wayne. All of these people have had interactions with the police, people reporting this shit to the police, and the police ignoring the leads that they get from people because they don't want to do their fucking job. They'd rather be out here, some of them, the pieces of shit within departments, because they'd rather be out here fucking harassing people and arresting and trying to fuck the lives over of people. And so I think that's kind of what it pisses the family off. But then again, it's like the family want to bring this kid in. Can you? How fucked up is this kid? How fucked up is this kid? Can you take care of him? Like, or can you provide him? Do you have the means to provide for this kid? That's how much this woman has set this young dude back. Because this kid head is fucked up. It gotta be. unless it's just a strong-willed kid, and then you deal with where's this kid mentally though? Is he one of these kids who is delayed? He may be 25, but what does he have the mind of? Does he have the mind of a 25-year-old, or is it the mind of a 12-year-old? I mean, this the cold part of shit. But let me let these sisters, because they go in on this shit.
Why do you think that they were so reluctant to talk about what was discussed, what Quanell told?
Because I think the police are hiding something. They know that
Janie
they
comes
know
from a
there
background of
is proof.
HPD.
They know there is proof, and yes, Janie has a lot of contacts with the HPD department, and people up there, higher level people are
See,
hiding
I wish the sisters
the
was in
fact
this
that
press
Janie
conference.
has done things. Her ex-husband, Rudy's father, who also committed suicide because of his things that he was doing within the police department. So I know that.
Man, if they would have had this interview first before the police department, and these women revealed this shit, and then the media been in this press conference to question the Houston police on this shit, oh my God. They ain't gonna do another press conference. But let me back that up to going into what has happened to this kid's father.
And
so his father was a corrupt motherfucker. So the father was a twisted motherfucker. But let me let them speak on this shit.
Contacts with the HPD department, and people up there, higher level people, are hiding the fact that Janie has done things. Her ex-husband, Rudy's father, who also committed suicide because of his things that he was doing within the police department. So I know there are lots of officers, lots of DAs, judges that do their job. They do what they promise and swear to do, and there are the corrupt ones. And these people are hiding and lying for her, and right now she's getting away.
I asked the chief upstairs if HPD ever went to the house, specifically to his house in the last 8 years. And they cut it off. The gentleman,
because they didn't go. They've been there
for
one
real,
time
Jack,
when she used
for
to
real.
live on Lee Road in Humble. They went one time when we reported that Rudy was at that location.
So the HPD did make contact
Just one time
at the home.
At the home
on Lee
Yeah,
Road,
they
not
exposing
on
a
the
lot.
Valley Lake.
And then one time
Rudy was there.
HPD's, I can't remember his name, but he called me at my office on my cell phone to tell me if I took a picture of Rudy in that house. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't seen Rudy since he has been missing. And as of to this day today, I have not seen my nephew.
Do you guys have a
He
message?
sent me a picture. He says, well, can I
But
send
these
you a
sisters
picture?
pissed
I said,
off.
send me the picture. I want to see the picture. So he sent me the picture, and I have that picture here.
Can we see it?
Absolutely.
Do you guys have a message for Rudy if he's watching this
Can we
right
see this
now?
picture,
Yes,
please?
Rudy, if you're watching this,
Rudy,
let us help you.
if you're watching this, Mito, we love you. Your aunts, your cousins, we stand behind you, and we are right here with you. We love you.
Who do you hold at fault for this? Because obviously you guys have anger and frustration. Do you view it as HPD not doing it, or do you view it also
HPD failed us.
I'm sorry, what?
HPD failed us.
The DA
That's what
failed
they did.
us yesterday. They had her. She was in.
Yeah, it's
handcuffs,
and the world is twisted when you get these sick ass people, mainly people when their minds are fucked up, who create these dynamics, because it's in these households, and then in these households, these people are brought out to the public. It's so much that's flawed. As much as people put shit on the government, this and the government, a lot of this shit flawed in society is the flaws inside these households, the fucked up raising of people, because parents are fucked up. And especially when you go into the past, much people like to highlight the good of the old days. A lot of old days is fucked up because the parents is fucked up.
It's because they said they had no proven evidence, no factual evidence.
And I called
You cannot
HPD.
have
Here's the
factual
picture.
evidence if you do not take him to get checked.
That picture's what?
This is the picture that some HPD officers sent me because I requested the picture.
What is this picture? What is this?
Rudy in the kitchen of his mother's house in 2018.
I'm sorry, what?
Rudy, that's a picture of Rudy in his mother's house in 2018. That's when Janie was married to Robert
Ortega.
Ortega.
Robert Ortega.
Yes.
Tell us your relation to Rudy and just make sure and give us your name.
My next question is, Rudy, I do want to say Rudy because I'm hoping that he's not getting manipulated and keeping away from watching TV. That so-called friend of Janie Santana, where he's at, Nikki Garza. Remember, you will be an accomplice. I've got pictures of cars. I got license plates. I will turn those in, which I've already posted them on Facebook. And I really hope that I do. What I would like for HPD to see is make a report, be on the lookout for those cars, and just run a report. But she's always changing cars. I physically went after the airport, what was that hotel? Yes. Holiday Inn. I physically went to her house yesterday to snoop around. There were reporters there. I didn't do nothing illegal. She has been living there. I did find, and Rudy, this is what I want you to find out because I know that you've always carried it very dearly with you. And I did find it because I know you've had it for many, many, many years, that more than likely Grandma gave it to you. If you can get away, if they're not forcing you to stay where you're at, and if you can get away, you know where to find us. You can call your Aunt Sylvia, which is your godmother. You can call Abel, my son, which is your cousin. And this is what I found because I did go snooping around and I knew that you were there. You see this here?
Are those his rosary beads?
This is his rosary that he would always carry around his neck. Always.
And where did you find that?
I found it right in the front as probably his mom was rushing him to hurry up and get away from the neighborhood. So right now, Janie Santana has gone back. I have people within the areas on the lookout. They did call me at 12:30, 4:36 in the morning that she was in the neighborhood.
She wasn't in the neighborhood. She went home to load her car up with clothes and stuff to take. And we're also told that whatever the vehicle that she's driving right now,
shit crazy.
Loaded. She's got 2 guns with her. She's got a car full, and she's gone and tried to convince or bribe Rudy into changing his story. She offered him thousands of dollars. She's offering the neighbors money to keep their mouths quiet and say that they're all lying about
neighbors did come.
Because some neighbors have got on there and been making statements and this and that, and now they bringing out that this lady has offered neighbors money, because some of the statements from some of the neighbors are like, what the hell is going on? Like, I should have recorded what some of the neighbors are coming out with, but now they coming out saying that she's been bribing the neighbors to make certain statements or not to say shit.
Come to me yesterday telling me that she did offer each neighbor 150, 250 per day or for whatever, so that they won't say nothing. Okay, they were very honest. And one lady, I won't say her name, but she was on the news. She did come up to me when I was there in front of Janie Santana's house, acknowledging everything that I knew deep in my heart, that he has always been there all this time. But people thought, and I'm gonna find out who the first investigator was when I heard about the disappearance, and I knew it wasn't right, okay? This investigator, I don't know who it was, but private investigator, she got on the phone with me and called me every name in the book, that I didn't want to see Janie finding her son, etc., etc. And I said, you know what? That day's going to come that everything's going to come out to light.
You know, HPD said that he was okay, that he's an adult, that, you know, he made his choice to stay with her. How do you guys feel about that?
Very upset. He wouldn't have said those things if he knew that Janie wasn't holding on him. And prior to them leaving the hotel yesterday, Janie had threatened him that had he not left with her, she was going to hurt herself and he was going to be without a mother. If he didn't change his story, that both he and she
That's
would
cold. She manipulating this dude's mind like this.
Quanell X, with my understanding, there was law enforcement in that same room hearing that conversation. So for the chief of police to say that they didn't hear anything and that it's just Quanell X, no, sir. Get it straight. Tell your people to tell the truth. Speak the truth. I don't care what position you're in, how high you are up there. Speak the truth. This kid is not a kid anymore. He's 25 years old, but he needs help.
HPD said that
He's
at the
been
time,
in there.
Yeah, his
HPD
mind ain't
prosecuted him
there.
at the time he was 17 years old, which in the state of Texas
A,
makes you an
a
adult.
male is considered an adult at the age of 17.
Let
It
me-
doesn't matter. He was forced and he was
Let me-
drugged. He was forced to do what his mother told him to do.
Let me clarify
How
this.
is that not a crime? His mother has held him there under false pretense that if he reached out or looked for help, he was going to go to jail and something bad was going to happen to him. What is someone of his state of mind at that time? He may have been 17, but he still had the mind of a 10-year-old. Rudy was
So
not
he's
a
slow.
grown adult at that time. And his mind wasn't. He was not anywhere near where he could be on his own.
Being
He did
coerced,
what his
being
mother told him.
manipulated, taking advantage of your
The,
own child.
the auntie be using the words wrong. She meant coerced and shit.
You raise, and Janie, I know you're listening to me, and you can come back and say that you're gonna have me locked up or get me in trouble or whatever. Stick that up to where the sunshine don't shine. I'm gonna say it in a nice way because your day is coming. We're almost there to get you. There's nowhere that you can run because I'm gonna make sure that your posters go all over. Don't even attempt to get into an airport and go anywhere because that's not gonna happen.
What do you think motivated your sister? What do you think motivated your sister?
To do this? She's always been manipulative. She's had different husbands, different names. She even tried to use my name that I did whatever to her, which is falsifying.
Man, they not playing.
She's a very
always
greedy
been
person.
Greedy, self-centered, selfish.
It's
she
all
wanted-
about money.
She's always been after money. Any way she can get money.
And trust, I have seen this shit from somebody I never thought would be like this. And what these ladies explaining about a lady, I've seen this shit first-handed. The same kind of shit they speaking on and the same manipulative shit and try to push that on a kid. I've seen this shit. This shit, man. And the damage that it has caused to a person from somebody sounds similar to this lady right here.
Anyway, anything she has to do, she doesn't care who it hurts or what the outcome is, as long as she has the money for that time, and then she moves on to another way. My grandma, may God rest her peace.
Mental delay or mental, like you said, he was.
No, because Cornell X is a bigger name. You don't have many well-noted Latino activists. That's why people go into the what's the brother out of the civil rights attorney? Damn, why I'm drawing a blank on his name. I always get on people because they be trying to knock him because of the great work he does. Damn, what's his name? What's the black brother out of Atlanta? He's Atlanta civil rights attorney. Damn, somebody bring up his name. But even with him, like, you don't have many Latino lawyers who are at that level, especially because black people are so known with, taking civil stances and shit. No, not Reggie Jackson. Hell no, Reggie Jackson, baseball player. No, not Lee Merritt. No, hell no, not Al Sharpton's an attorney that gets people all this bread. Ben Crump, thanks, Cool Breeze. Ben Crump, like we lead at that shit. But even in Texas, this dude, y'all have seen Quanell X. Hold on, let me put Quanell X. So just to bring, once y'all see him, y'all know who he is. Let me go into hold on, let me go to Quanell X real quick. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me refresh y'all memory on who Quanell X. Y'all recognize him. Probably didn't recognize him in the video I played when he was in that regular shirt. But let me go with Quanell X. Let me see. Hold on. He be always checking the people on that damn news out there. He be checking a lot of these dudes, especially like racist whites and shit. And he be on there cussing on their news channel and be like, God damn it. And woo, woo, woo. Let me see. I think I spelled Quanell X's name wrong. So here he is. Let me pull up. This is Quanell X. Hold on. Let me get this one up. Let me move this real quick and bring up Quanell X. So y'all refresh your memory on knowing who he is, because y'all have definitely seen him. You've seen him a lot. So this is him. You see him. He got these segments where they go into debates and he be checking these fools. But I want to go into one where he checked this damn sheriff out there. Let me go. Cornell X. Yeah, he's like noted for being on the Houston station out there. Let me put on this shit where he checks the sheriff out here. Where's the sheriff that he's checked? Hold on, where's this one at? Hold on, folks. Damn, where's that one? Don't tell me they removed that shit. He checked this sheriff so cold, man. Let me see. Where's Cornell X checking the little racist? He going to a country town. Here we go. This is it right here. So let me go. This is the Say Cheese one. A white racist cop. So here we go. Cornell X, where he checked this motherfucker. And he started revealing about this dude wife. And, he punked the fuck out this white sheriff. Let me go. All right, so let me pull this one up. Give me 1 second, folks. I'm going to play this Cornell X one. Well noted dude. Let me see. Not off the Say Cheese. I might just play Say Cheese shit. Say fuck it. Let me see. And they don't really own the rights to this shit because it's been on a lot of other channels and stuff. Let me see. Damn, why that shit won't play? I just want to play on some other shit. Let me see. Matter of fact, let me put it like this. Hold on. Let me put Cornell X, white racist cop. Let me see. Fuck, I'm gonna just do this one right here. So here we go.
You talk about your economy, bro. We don't need your economy. We need everything else you got because y'all ain't worth shit.
I'm that brother that was with your image.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about me. I'm not the one you're playing with. I'm not playing. I'm talking about. I got him. No. I got him. You talking about me. I don't do all that. But I will shut you down. I'm that one. Trust me. I am that one. I will shut you down. I know why you're upset. How you think I know your daughter's name? I know why you're upset.
No, you don't.
I know why you're upset. I know why you're upset. You got a right to be angry.
No, I would be too if I was you.
I'm that one. I don't do this. I'll get with you.
Yeah.
I sure will.
That's good. I'll get with you too. You don't think so?
You wouldn't even stand it, buddy.
What's your name, sir? You got my heart in the sheriff, dude.
Trust
At
me.
least you can stand outside by the
You might want to hook me up. I'll break your ass.
I already did.
Thank you. So you don't want to play with me.
Don't play. Don't
And see, she needs to shut the fuck up on this mic. Like, god damn.
play. You a tough one, huh? What about your
I'm
sheriff?
upset about your daughter.
Why you sheriff ain't got the power? Why you gonna say y'all good old boys, right? Y'all the good old boys, right? See what?
See, what this is, the new Black Panther showed up into this town. Cause I forgot what little racist biggest shit. I think some more racist biggest shit happened in this town. And this is around when all the protests for the George Floyd stuff was going on. But I think this cop did something. So this what brought, since they was trying to intimidate blacks, I think the Black Panthers come in there and Cornell X approached this damn sheriff. And he also exposed like, yeah, your daughter like it black and shit. Like pissed him off.
I don't know why you're upset.
What?
You wanna know why you're upset?
Watch this.
Why you upset, dude?
Conspiracy.
Let me tell everybody right
His
now.
daughter's the one of the ones don't be messing with us.
Let me tell everybody right now. Fuck you.
Listen.
You know what happened.
Tell everybody right now.
You know what happened.
Y'all know why
Your daughter said you know what happened.
You know why he upset?
Your daughter said you know what happened.
No.
I got the post. You want me to go get it? I got so your daughter didn't say that you know what happened.
No.
Your daughter didn't say that.
We have your own daughter's words. Yeah, whatever. We have Ashley's words.
Ashley Keener.
We have Ashley's words. We know why you upset. Because your daughter like black coffee, no sugar, no cream. That's why you upset. It's eating you up, baby. It's eating you up, baby. That she likes a black man. That's what you're upset about. That's why we know your daughter's name. That's why you're hurt. I know it hurts. I know it hurts.
Ben,
I know it hurts.
Ben, does any of my
I know it hurts.
any of my family like black?
I know it hurts.
Look, and it's showing how bigoted that cop is. He gotta go look and ask for somebody. Does his family like blacks? So that's why they addressed that fool. And so a lot of the white folks or even people, because I listen to this other channel, I be listening to a lot of news where they saying a lot of stupid shit on Ika Mills show. And a lot of people, white folks mainly, who are seeing with Cornell X exposing a lot in this situation, and the whites up there having this reaction that Cornell X is the one openest. No, Cornell X gets into the chest of a lot of these motherfuckers. So, you know, I'm glad to see him on the front line of this shit, of this story with this kid, and exposing where there's been lapses of solving that case. Like, it's going to expose a lot of shit. Cool Breeze says, man, says this is crazy. This crazy as shit. Chef says, damn, buddy daughter says getting piped up, says, and racist dude hurt. Yeah, he hurt like a motherfucker. A lot of these racists be hurt. They daughters be getting piped up. Man, these motherfuckers, they daughters don't be buying into that racist shit they be on. Dak says he asking for a racist vindication. What he said? Oh yeah, you talking about the sheriff asking for another racist? Talking about, do my family like blacks? Man, all them women, even your wife probably like black motherfuckers. Adam 22 cop. And then KG says salute to myself in the chat. Tyrese in there saying what up, bro? So let me continue on. So for those who's asking who Cornell X is, so that's who he is. And like I say, y'all may have seen him. You go look at people in Houston, definitely must know who he is. But if you look at the other cats, you'll see. Mike Laurie says, still kind of weird, says Cornell works for Fox News. No, it's a local news station. He don't work for it. He's an activist, and he done been brought on there. Like, he started off from when he was addressing something. He was on a show one day. He was addressing something with one of the white hosts on the show, and he went off and had to check this white dude, put him in his place. And so a lot of people, you know, bring him back on there because you check a lot of those white people on the show. I like it. It needs to be seen. Don't think TV needs to be swayed towards thinking they're only, you know, pushing certain type of programming for a white audience. Like, nah, Houston ain't fucking just a white city, as this country ain't a white country. So let me continue on with the sisters, and as they expose more.
When
they're asking if when he was a child.
When he was growing up, he was fun to be with. He grew up with his cousins, my children, my sister's children. They all got along. And then all of a sudden, she just took controlship when my nephew had that motorcycle accident. And that's where some of his, his mind just went off.
So you had a motorcycle accident?
My oldest nephew, yes, her firstborn. And then the dad killed himself, HPD.
Yeah, see, the nephew she's talking about, what made this kid kind of lose his mind was his older brother died in a motorcycle accident. Then his own father kills himself. Then their brother dies in the accident.
When my nephew had that motorcycle accident. And that's where some of his, his mind just went off.
So you had a motorcycle accident?
My oldest nephew, yes, her firstborn. And then the dad killed himself, HPD, for whatever reasons. I don't know, traffic citations or whatever.
And what are your names, ladies?
My name is Pauline Sanchez Rodriguez. I'm the oldest of the aunt here.
Michelle Rodriguez, I'm his cousin, first cousin.
Michelle, podríamos hablar contigo
I have nothing to hide. I'm a tip. And I know that this is all coming about greediness, about money. She's bought another life insurance policy. I've got pictures on my phone. I did take pictures.
She on a life insurance policy shit.
I know that's a federal offense, but it's not bad just to take pictures.
And you know, they say that the DA has not pressed charges yet, that they need to wait to complete their investigation before they proceed with this. Right now, Janie has the chance to get further away.
They're giving her the opportunity.
They're helping her. They're giving her a head start when all they had to do was bring her in and question her, bring Rudy in, take him to get evaluated, have medical records, because he has not been in a hospital. He has not been checked since they got him from the church over there in Second Ward, in Magnolia. So, Chief of Police and whoever else is saying that y'all have to wait, thank you. You're giving Janie a head start.
Are you guys going to try to get Rudy from the family if he can go with you guys?
We would like for Rudy to come home with my aunt and for him to get, if we have to do the law's job for them. We will do what we need to do to get him the help he needs so we can take care of him.
Of course, we're not going to do nothing illegal, but as I said, as I said yesterday, I called HPD to send a unit out there to have the license plates run 2 different places. They never showed up. When I called back, dispatch or somebody from that HPD unit told me, we don't have any units. We don't have any units. So what? We don't have any units. But
you hear that a lot with law enforcement.
How long would that be? 2 or more hours? We waited there. Nobody ever showed up. I finally called back. I said, you know what? I'm tired of waiting. I'm going back to the other destination. I'll go do things on my own.
Saber lo que sucedió hoy, cómo reaccionó la familia.
All right, so there we have it with that. So once again, police dropping the ball on a lot of shit. It almost go back to that case. Remember, a lot of people was trying to make it a racial shit because the news is covering all this shit with the Gabby Petita case. Which, if y'all remember, Gabby Petita, she was a young white lady who was on a cross-country van life trip with her husband she had recently married. They drove from out of Florida, visiting all these state parks and shit. And it was like to where this girl comes missing. So it drew a lot of attention from off the internet because she's a content creator and she's creating. And like I say, the reason when I seen this shit was because I follow a lot of that RV and shit. And it's a family who end up discovering they shit was just by happen chance. The Red, White, and Bethune who end up when they, because they couldn't find like mine, this vast ass country. And they're traveling across it where this fool kills off his wife and dump her. But when it was so much shit that came up out of this, that law enforcement fucked up, dropped the ball, and cost this young girl her fucking life, that it was the incident between them. So it was like they're living in like this little, what do they call those little vans? It's a little small ass van they converted into like a camper and shit. Damn, it's like a Ford, a small van, but they utility like vans. And as they driving across country, so they're like drawing issues as you spend too much time in this small confined space, it causes issues. And she'll release content every now and then. Some people are saying like they hadn't seen a video comes out because she's missing, because her parents starting to report that something's not right. When they contact her, she's not responding. Now they're getting texts. The texts don't sound like shit that she'll say. And so they kind of become weary. But a video ends up being released because when people recognize this is the girl, there was a video that went viral, matter of fact, of the dude smacking her up. So the husband, his name Laundry or something. Brian Laundry was the name. He in the store to where they reported they get in a dispute. People report him smacking her up and shit. And when they leave and he lock her out of the vehicle, drive off. When the police show up, they don't take the case serious. They think it's just the girl flipping out, blah, blah, blah. They need some time to chill. He's recognizing the cop kind of make it personal about his experience with his wife and how she flips him out. He just need time away. So they put a restraining order against him or something. They get her a hotel room. He got to stay away from her for the 24 hours. And then they can come back. I don't think they follow up or anything. So they allow them to go off. And in that time, because this kid is still raging, he kills this fucking girl. When they finally find her body, in mind, she would have never been found if it was not for this YouTube channel. This girl would be still out there in the middle of this national forest. I think he snapped her neck or some shit, or he strangled her to death. Mind, this is chick. So fucking the mother, the parents of this young girl, Gabby, is like worried, like where's she at? Then this video hits the internet of her being smacked up. Then you get when they follow that lead, the police release body cam of them interacting. This is like the last shit you see of her. So they trying to track where this guy moving from, like where he's all moved through. But it was a crazy thing. In between a trip, he flies back home because his mother covering this shit up. The mother was on some real strange shit when it came down what was going on and how she hid the fact she knew her son had killed this girl. He flies back to fucking Florida by himself. Then he comes back to the wherever the Grand Teton. I think that shit in Idaho or some shit. Wherever the Grand Tetons. Wait, where is the Grand Tetons? I think I want to say that's Idaho. Let me see. The Grand Teton National Park is in what state? Let me see. What state is this? Grand Teton is. Come on, show me the state. God damn it. Oh, let me go. I was trying to pull the shit up on YouTube. Let me go to. I think the Grand Tetons is in Idaho. Let me see. Grand Teton. Let me see. That's in. Damn, show me the fucking state. God damn it. Hold on, folks. I'm gonna pull it up. Right here. It's in Wyoming. So it's in Wyoming that we're at. So mine, it's a big ass national forest. So this dude pulled off on the side. So the red, white, this shit is crazy how this shit got solved. So now they finding out that bam. So they find out Brian Laundrie back home because his neighbors spot him. Now the people protesting out in front of the house and all this shit. Now the police out there in Florida is drawn into this shit, and they want to talk about, oh, do you know? One of the reporters doing this press conference says, so where's Brian and his family at now? Because now they like the mother's being kind of suspicious and shit. Oh, well, we got officers tracking him. He at his home and boo woo. Then they kind of find out this dude ain't even at the house. They don't know where he is. It's where he ends up saying the mother and them drove him out to a national park out there. He disappeared. I don't even think they ever found this motherfucker's body. No matter of fact, they found him in an alligator's body. I think an alligator ate this motherfucker up. But this fool, but back to how they solved this case. So they don't even know where this girl is. They have no idea about the van because the kid drives the van all the way back to fucking Florida and shit. So it ain't in that same spot in the Grand Tetons. In this national park, there's no cameras there. The red, white, and Bethune people, when they're going on their trip, because they're family that travels around in a bus and they live in a bus, they're driving through. Just so lucky, the husband turns on his dash cam to record like the views of where they're driving. They drive by the van and not knowing none of this shit. They drive by the van and shit. And just doing their regular content. They see a van off on the side of the road, think nothing of it. And then when they come back, they drive by. You can kind of get a glimpse that he may have been in the vehicle. When you drive by, the van is open, and where you almost think you see this girl foot, like she may be dead in this van and shit. And when they come back, you can see that because they got a front camera and a rear camera, that when they drive back by, you see somebody in the front, the back part of that van is closed. So that led, so when the FBI looking for tips, so as the husband saying, when he's editing up the content and this and that shit, and they getting word from like the little chat groups about anybody got footage in the Grand Teton may have seen the van. While the husband's chopping up the video, they discover, bam, and it's the husband and wife watching. They looking like, damn, could this be the van and shit? Turn this shit into FBI. FBI go to this location where that van was. They find that girl when they track it down with the dogs. Found that where that dude buried that girl under a shallow grave and shit. Found out he strangled her to death. All from that incident the police didn't handle, which she should have left, but she is like cost her life. But you seen the holes with the police and shit. -9 with his negative shit. Like I say, because I control comments, I ain't even got to pop it up and read it. But that's all I got, folks, on this one, man. Tomorrow, the press conference with these aunts and Cornell X, and they're gonna expose more where the holes in this investigation allow this shit to go on. And it's like, why is his mother hiding this shit? Is his mother really doing the sinister sexual shit with her own kid? Who's it? Like shit, you got your kid up here doing sexual shit. Oh, there we go. This old punk ass internet shit always doing that crap. All right, so I see that I'm back. So we all good. Let me turn my volume up. Think I'm good. I see myself on the computer. I see the computer thing looks back clear. That's why I like wearing this earpiece. And let me see. It catch back up on the TV. Let me go ahead. Click on it. Do I see myself? I don't hear myself. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Do y'all see me? Let me see. Do y'all see me? Let me turn my Wi-Fi thing back on this phone. Let me reconnect. So I see that's on. Damn, what's up? Am I talking? Let me see. Okay, I'm back. So I'm good. But I'm about to get out of here too. So I'm done. Chef says, yeah, says I'm gonna tune in. Says, what time you doing this? Well, no, I'm gonna be at work still. So that Cornell X dudes and the aunts are doing a press conference together at 2:30, I think Central Time, 2:30 Central Time. So I'm pretty sure all the major networks, especially the Houston ones, gonna cover it. And I think CNN about to get on it because now you had Como who works for, I think he's with CNN still, what network it is. They jumped on it, did an interview with him, like this shit gonna be crazy. Aaron Park said, okay, I'm back. But that's all I got, folks. I'm out of here, man. Go stay up on this shit to see what results in this case right here. But it's sick if that mother's doing that. But man, that manipulating people is a thing, man. It's a thing that happens a lot, and it happens when people are being victimized by some old wicked motherfucker. You think will be protecting them, and they're victimizing these people, man. But that's all I got, folks. I'm out of here. Peace.